What's up, everyone? Dave Powers here, bringing you a video on cognitive restructuring for rumination. Now, of course, rumination is this incessant, obsessive, compulsive-like tendency to dwell on our problems, to dwell, in particularly with benzodiazepine withdrawal, you dwell on, will I get better? What are these symptoms? Is this symptom a brain aneurysm? Is it a heart problem? Is it this? Is it that? I got to get on WebMD. I got to look it up. I got to get on the forums. I got to talk to people. And we do this all day, right? Several hours a day. So many of my clients, I'm talking 5-6 hours a day, every day, wake up, get on these forums, looking up stuff. We get stuck in this cycle. That's all we do. We just keep looking. And we're looking for answers. We're telling ourselves that we're being, rational, responsible adults. I got to figure out what's happening to me. Now, of course, after a certain point, let's say months of doing this, we've read everything. We've gone to doctors. Doctors have told us you're fine. We can't find anything. All the symptoms we're looking into, there's no cause other than anxiety. And of course, the symptoms are so strong that we just can't accept it. We go, no way. I mean, I've had anxiety. I've had depression. But this is terrible. I stand up. I get dizzy. I start to black out. I don't feel like myself. There's things crawling in my skin, I feel a million miles away at times, like as if I'm a distant point of consciousness floating around the room. I have panic so bad that my chest hurts. My heart's beating so fast and hard that my chest hurts, and it scares me. And, we've just come to believe that this couldn't be normal. I don't think anyone had symptoms quite like me. That's what we say. And believe me, we all say it. I've said it. And that's the fire that gets you running back to WebMD. What's this new? I got blurred vision. When I look out the blinds of the window, my vision shakes. What's that? Is that an eye problem? Is it a tumor pushing on a nerve in my head? I mean, these are the things that you think of that otherwise, if we weren't going through benzo withdrawal, they would be almost laughable, right? What are the odds that suddenly today I have a tumor pushing against an ocular nerve, right? When you're under benzo withdrawal, it completely makes sense. Because what is benzo withdrawal? What is anxiety? What is stress? It's cortisol, it's adrenaline. And when you look at what those things do to your body, it makes you hypervigilant, paranoid, anxious, fearful, apprehensive. And it makes total sense that this would be the symptom of anxiety and stress, would be to ruminate, to look for answers for our health. Now, in itself, not a bad thing. And I think everyone should be looking for answers for your health, especially if you're going through benzodiazepine, you should. So hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying you shouldn't do these things. I'm saying if you're spending 4 or 5 hours a day doing these things, you can bet your ass you're doing yourself a disservice, a great disservice. You're doing yourself much more damage than if you could just somehow find a way to say, today I'm only going to get on these forums or support groups or WebMD, or I'm only going to ruminate for no more than an hour today. I wake up, I try to find answers, I do my research, and then it's time to move on. It's time to start engaging in other activities that are going to bring about, aid in my healing. Let's put it that way. So, with that said, cognitive restructuring for rumination. What do we do? What does that mean? Cognitive restructuring means simply taking the structure of what you see and, restructuring it, right? So, if you have a headache and you're having some eye pain or something, yeah, it could be a tumor pushing on a nerve. I mean, we can't rule that out exactly, right? Could be that. I like to go by Occam's razor, which says the obvious answer is usually the right answer, right? And this is just a little cognitive trick for people with OCD and rumination problems. And that is, so in the terms of the ocular situation, the headache in the eye and everything, sure, it could be a nerve. Or, we also know that with benzo withdrawal, headaches are pretty common, right? I mean, super common. And we also know that, we haven't been sleeping very much, so our eyes are probably really tired. So could it be that our strained eyes plus the headache symptom from benzo kind of combined is causing this weird anxiety for us that then maybe looks like it could be something worse? Well, that's probably the answer. So yes, we could run to the doctor. We can get our fifth eye exam. We could get on the WebMD. Or we have to find a way to sort of to learn to swim without gripping the water, because that's what we're trying to do with all this. We're trying to hold on to things that are just not able to be held on to. And what I mean by that is you have to learn to be able to let go of all the fear of what ifs, what if it's this, what if it's that, right? We need to be able to let it go and get past it and get back again to our healing. So when we restructure, we take something again like the ocular nerve example, and we say, could this be something else that's more explainable? Yes, of course it is. Okay, there's headaches, GI, heart palpitations. I struggled a lot with this. I would stand up and I would get a flutter in my chest, and I would think, I've been under benzos for so long, and I think it's weakened my heart. And I think I've read somewhere where someone had a heart problem with benzo, and I don't know. Do I need to go to a doctor? What about my age? What about my prior history and my weight? And then you assess everything again, and you go, okay, I think this is just benzo. I'm almost overwhelmingly sure it's benzo. But as sure as I say that, I can't feel it. The fear is still there. The fear of it not being benzo, of it being a serious heart problem, is still there. So you have to learn to override your system, because you can't trust your system. Your system's throwing up faulty signals at this point. And once you realize that, once you really see how many faulty signals your brain is throwing up to you, it gets easier to just sort of, when these things come up, just immediately let them fall. And I'm not giving that even any energy now. Oh, what's this new lower back pain or chest pain or whatever? Not giving it any energy. I'm focusing on what I need to do. And what I need to do is get up, get out of bed, try to move around as much as possible. If I can exercise at all, even if it means walking to the mailbox, great. If I'm going to get on any support groups, it's going to be positive support groups. It's looking at people that are getting better and healing. I'm going to focus on my diet. I'm going to try to adopt a sleep routine, a real sleep routine, not just I turn my phone off 5 minutes before bed, but, a real sleep routine. Maybe some tea, maybe some hot bath, turning off electronics, an hour or two before sleep. These are the things we need to be focusing on. So cognitive restructuring for rumination is as simple and complex as getting in between the trigger and rationality and putting distance between the irrational thought and our fears. It's getting in there, asking yourself a simple question: what is the most likely answer of this situation? Is it a heart problem? Is it a brain aneurysm? Is it ocular tumor? Or are these just symptoms of benzo withdrawal? More unbelievable, crazy symptoms of benzo withdrawal. And overwhelmingly, guys, we've all been there. It's benzo. Hey everyone, thanks for watching and listening. Please click the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the content. And be sure to check out my book on Amazon, The Powers Manual, Benzo Guide to Recovery.